Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all well. I'm just going to do a little bit of closing out session here for our Vibration and Attraction Masterclass. Let's be hoping that our wonderful friends over Facebook obliged today after some hiccups last week. Can you believe it's a week ago yesterday that we started? It went by fast, but I'm pretty sure that for some people it seems like a long time ago now, because you got up Monday morning, there was no masterclass, there was no study, there was no 6 a.m. club, and starts to feel a little bit like, oh, I'm kind of back to where I was maybe before the masterclass. Well, there is an opportunity for you to make that a permanent shift. I just got off the call this morning with two lovely ladies, one called Nicola and one called Irene, who I'm glad to welcome to our academy. And I'm excited to welcome them aboard. Now, the other thing I want to do is, while I'm with you, is to also welcome through Mary Donegan and Anne Halton and Suzanne, Claudia, or my lovely helicopter buddy, Anita, David, Juliet, Marquetta, and Alf as well. So I'm really excited to welcome everybody through. Kay and Alona, I think you guys came through around the same time. So really excited to welcome everybody to the Academy. It's a wonderful growing community of people all over the country. And as one lady said to me this morning, you guys are the real deal. So I'm really, really grateful for your compliments. So what I want to do this morning is, we have some people who are, I love this saying, sitting on a fence. Now, I don't know how many people ever sat on a fence. I wouldn't say it's the most comfortable thing in the world to do, but we have all these sayings, don't we? And you don't really sit on a fence. What you are doing is living in a place of indecision, which is not nice. It's either 100% no, 100% yes. All the bits in between are noisy. So forget the noise, become a committed decision maker, and 100% decide no or 100% decide yes, but get off the fence, whatever it's called. Now, why does one live in indecision? Well, one of the reasons is there's a perception of something out there called risk. Now, I'm going to read something very important, and I want to ask you guys to choose what's called a different set of risks. It's from a book called U Squared by Price Pritchard, and he says, when you're going after a change in your life, it feels a bit chancy. A risk can hit you as something that's rather apparent, that it may be something that's kind of threatening. But you must stack up all of the risks, the hidden risks that you currently do accept when you decide to live with the present status quo. So I interviewed a girl a few months ago called Karen. I was talking to her about, she was working in going around, what was she doing? Valuing hotels, that maybe if I owned a hotel and I wanted to put it up for auction or for sale, she would do valuations on hotels and corporate hotels. And that was her job. And she was just feeling like, get in the car, get the kids their breakfast, go off to some city, appraise a hotel, turn around, drive home, podcast, And she went on a masterclass like this. And what happened for her was, she said, it was scary going ahead and investing in myself, but it was more scary thinking that this is what I'm settling, this is what I'm investing all of my other time in now. Instead of something I really want to do in my life, I'm going to keep doing this and hope something else lands in my lap. So the risk that she was actually choosing a different set of risks, which was the risk to risk nothing. It's risky to risk nothing just to stay going with the status quo. So the risk will hit you as maybe apparent, and maybe threatening, but you must evaluate these risks against the hidden risks that you are accepting when you're living with the present status quo. Ask yourself what you're risking if you don't go after your goals, if you don't go after a quantum leap type of a change in your life. The risk that you won't get what you want out of life, and that's a big risk. You've got to understand that you can never, ever escape risk. It's not something that you can decide to live with or to live without. Something is always at stake. You can only decide which risk you are choosing to take. Whether you choose to go for a quantum leap or to follow your usual routines, you are putting something on the line every day. Something is always at stake. You can only decide which risks you're going to choose to take. Whether you choose to go after a quantum leap, quantum leaps do mean that to some degree, you've got to move beyond the zone of familiarity, security, and comfort. Security is the highest of my values. Security, when I looked at my list of values, I put security as number one, because the fear of not having security for June and the children put my life into spin. And, that chasing and that almost like the feeling like a gambler, nobody wants to live their life like that. It's very stressful. You burn off an awful lot of energy. So think of security, strong foundations of a structure, strong financial capacity, the ability to do things without fear of loss. That's all built with security. So security is very, very high on my list. It's the highest of my list of values. So why, if I value security so high, why would I sit on one side of a computer and say to somebody, I know it feels like it's an insecurity that you're investing in yourself, but I promise you, I know they're putting a stronger financial security under themselves, a time security under themselves, an emotional security under themselves, a spiritual security there, a self-image security. I know that we're not just going to give these people a fish for the night, we're going to teach them how to fish for life. So whether you choose, quantum leaps do mean that to some degree you must go beyond your zone of familiarity, security, and comfort. I was in a comfort zone, but it was not secure. It was very familiar. It was very uncomfortable, but I was in a comfort zone. But it was not comfortable then if we went for dinner, and let's say it was more expensive than I wanted it to be, or if June started talking about, we're going to be writing off to Santa Claus soon, or we're going to be getting ourselves ready for some Christmas stuff. It's coming up now to your mom and dad's birthdays, and it's going to be Father's Day next month. All these things would give me pangs of insecurity because I didn't have financial security because I was living in the comfort zone. So the quantum leap means to some degree you must move beyond your zone of familiarity, but you can make the jump to getting the results that you want without having to be totally reckless or impulsive. Frankly, making a leap in your life is not gambling. It is not a crap shot, where they throw the things down, they get the dice and they throw them. You simply move on an opportunity that you have actually been ignoring. And I love that saying. That sentence is one of my favorite in the whole book. We put a lot of noise into our decision and we make it seem like all this drama is going on, but here's the deal. You're simply going after an opportunity that you've been ignoring, you've been postponing, you've been putting off. And it's like all your friends know that you're made for this other person, and all of their friends know that they're made for you, and you finally get your shit together and actually go on a date. That's what it's like. This idea knows you want it, and you know you want it, and you're ignoring it. And it's like, all right, let's do it. What starts to happen is you abandon all excuses. And that's it. I don't have an excuse for anything to do with the children. It's just non-negotiable. Whatever they need or whatever they want, I'll try my best. And that's it. That's it. It's non-negotiable. It's not about food. No matter how tired you are. Like, we got 2 puppies recently, and I get up in the morning, because stay up late with them at night or whatever, go to bed at 11, get up at 4:30 or whatever. I make sure they have their toilet break before I go to bed and after, just to make sure that like the utility room or whatever isn't being bothered with. We've had children who are awake, they're 11 and 9 and 6. So over the last 11 years, we've had sleepless nights and the whole thing, because we've always had young children in our home. But they're getting to an age now where they go to bed at night, they wake up in the morning. And now we're after inviting more of this instability into our home with having puppies, and they're chewing things. And, you can't leave your clothes basket down because some of them might do a little piddle on it or something. We have to readjust again. But the reason I'm saying that is what we're actually doing is I've no excuses. I'm not going to ignore them because I'm tired, or I'm not going to. They're puppies. They need help. They need feeding. They need walking. They need minding. They need playing with, or if they're nervous, they need support. I don't have any excuses for taking care of them. If we got them, we have to take care of them. It's the same with the children. If I've got clients, if I've got a team, we need to take care of them. There's no excuses. So when you align yourself, you abandon these excuses. They just go away. That's what we talked about on day 4 of the masterclass. We talked about absolute freedom. Absolute freedom comes with a decision. There'll be some people that will actually get absolute freedom from categorically saying no. There'll be some people that will still be wrapped up in a bit of some sort of, they're trapped. They're not really free, but they think they are because they've said no to their goal, or they've said no to moving ahead with their goal. But I think they know deep down inside that they're ignoring something that they want to do. There is an excuse blocking them, and that's why we would say talk to your success advisor or whatever, because we can make these excuses seem like little cubes of brown sugar dropped into a hot coffee. It just melts. The excuses melt away when people who have excuses are not spending enough time living in the idea of their goal achieved. That's where the excuses grow. So when you move on an opportunity that you have been ignoring, all the excuses, you abandon them. I like that word, you abandon them. But you actually reframe what's in front of you. you take a completely different set of risks. The quantum leap is risking in a way that actually unmasks your truth, revealing how the only thing of significance that was standing in the way was, drumroll, you or me or whatever it is. The only thing that was significantly standing in my way of anything that I achieved prior to me achieving it was me and my mindset. That's all. The rest was just decision making and accumulating relationships and income and decisions. That's it. But the spark that lit the whole flame was me. So I was standing in my way because I was choosing an old familiar path and wondering when is it going to land on my lap. Quantum leap is risking a way that unmasks your truth, revealing how the only thing of significance that has been standing in your way is you. Risk believing in yourself. Risk acting on the assumption that you can succeed in making a quantum leap. Otherwise, the risk that you're going to settle for is only a fraction of what life is trying to give you. Ooh. The risk that you will settle for is a fraction of what life is trying to give you. This isn't a case of taking a huge, big chance. It's a matter of giving yourself a big opportunity. The major obstacle to overcoming the odds is never challenging those odds. You know, we are in Ireland, we are really big fans of sport. We've always felt like an underdog, and we're going Ireland against France and Ireland against Holland. And, you know, I remember I was showing my son as a soccer nut, he just loves it. And I was showing him, like, I said, Dylan, are you ever afraid of a soccer player? Because when I was your age, I was like afraid of an opposing soccer player. He was like, yeah, when we played Barcelona a few years ago, I was afraid of Messi. And I was like, yeah, I remember that. I remember in Ireland in 1988 over in the Euros, I remember being scared of Ruud Gullit. He was a big, huge, strong man with big, long dreads, and he was towering over the Irish players. And the minute he got the ball, you're like, you know, like you're afraid of what could happen. But Ireland went out and we beat the odds. Like, we've achieved in inventions, in business, and we've put our mark on the world, you know, and we've always been rooting for the little guy. You know, maybe in movies and things where I was like, oh, and, you know, but he says here, the major obstacle in overcoming the odds, and we know as a kind of a race of people, I suppose, that the odds can be beaten. I don't care about the odds. We can beat the odds all the time. But if we never challenge the odds, if we go, sure, it's only a 6 to 1 chance, we're never going to challenge the odds, and the odds are stacked against us then. But when you challenge the odds, they seem to just fade away. Until you test the limits regarding what you actually can achieve in life, you can't truly know what those odds are. You can't know what the chances are until you challenge them, until you go toe-to-toe with your old paradigm and say, no, I am doing this. And it's not anybody else is standing in your way at that point, it's ourselves. So until you test the limits regarding what you can achieve, you can't truly know what your chances were ever. You never know what your full chances were because you never risked. But we had Michael, I remember, and what was that lovely lady? Was it Veronica? Veronica saved somebody, like brought them back from the dead, and then Michael jumped off a pier to save a baby whose pram went up. That's choosing a set of risks. That's risking his life to save another life, you know. But they didn't know they were going to achieve it till they got in the game, like till they actually went and resuscitated the person or went and jumped in the water. They didn't go, oh, the odds are against me now. Like, they just had to make that decision. They just had to do it. So the odds change in your favor when you begin to challenge them. So maybe some of you guys have been chatting to people in our team or success advisors, whatever. It's like, look, I'd love to, but I don't have the money. And that's okay. That's very evident for lots of people. But have you challenged that opinion that you don't have the money? I got off the phone with somebody this morning. She goes, same as you, Declan. I got a bit of the credit card here, and then I have savings there, and we've got a tax bill in November. We just want to make sure we got this in place. And once that's in place, we're good to go. But she challenged her initial perception, which was, you know, truthfully, like anybody like myself, it's like, we're not saying it's expensive. In some way, we're saying, I don't deserve that level of investment in myself. That's kind of a very deep underlying self-image thing we've got going on. It's a bit more over if we have children. It's like, if I'm going to spend that money, I'll spend it on a holiday or I'll spend it on something. But, you know, they come and go. They fizzle and fade. Memories are nice. But for them to see mom and dad really flourishing is the best holiday of all, because when they're at home, mom and dad are flourishing. It's a wonderful home to be in, you know. So the odds really change when you challenge your perception of, I don't have the time, or I don't have the money, or I don't know my goal, or challenge those today. Like we have a deadline for like 12 o'clock, I think, or 12:30 today, where our deal goes away. Like, I would challenge it and talk to your supervisor and go, look, I'm absolutely clanking it. I want to do it. I feel sad that the masterclass is finished and other people have moved ahead and I haven't. Then challenge it. Just go and talk to your supervisor and say, look, I want to challenge this. I want to just see what I can do. What can we do? And start pushing the boundaries back against your old paradigm, because it's like, oh, phew, I nearly lost them. They were in a masterclass last week and they started getting big ideas, but I think I've quietened now over the weekend that, yeah, they're going to go back and forget about that stuff, Challenge that old paradigm, because that's what holds us back. Not your neighbor, not your ex, not that boss who bullied you when you were a teenager, nothing. It's just our mindset, and we can change it, and it will change with us, because it'll go, oh, okay, I thought this was going to be scary. Oh, but it's actually nice. It's nice to have more money. It's nice to have more time. It's nice to know where I'm going in the next few years. Oh, this is okay. Well, I would have released my control over you if you were more clear with me over the last number of years. But that's the truth. We're not being clear. We don't have direction. We don't have guidance. We don't have focus. We don't have clarity. So there is a law of polarity. And if you've got chaos, then there is order. But order needs us to go from chaos to order. Like, we need to make that leap. We need something to help us to leap from one to the other. Okay. And that's what the Academy provides. I sent back emails this morning to a few different people, male and female, that have emailed me their goals. They started a week or 2 weeks ago. One of them, absolutely gorgeous, beautifully written goal, but it's all, I will have. And I said, oh, well done, love it, but I am, not I will have, because tomorrow never, what did Garth Brooks say? Tomorrow never comes, if tomorrow never comes, I will have this. No, I am doing this. So it is a year from now. I am so happy that I'm living here. I step out onto the street and I'm part of a wonderful community. I'm so proud of myself. So those goals have been edited, but now these people have focus and clarity, and they're going to bed at night reading a goal that is belonging to them once and for all. They wake up the next morning, they read their goal. So last thing at night, first thing in the morning, our clients are waking up and they are, where's my one? Here it is. They're doing, oh no, mine was there just a moment ago. Yeah, so they're getting up in the morning, they're reading something like I do. This one stays on my office wall. I have one on my laptop and I have one under my pillow. So my goal, I get up in the morning and I read it, and it energizes me and it focuses me. So regardless of how the children sleep, regardless of what emails I get, regardless of what comes my way with meetings or with banking transactions or a VAT bill, don't we love the VAT bill? All these come my way. Doesn't matter, because I'm energized by my goal first thing in the morning. That's the essential, and everything else is the incidental. So this gives me this sustains me. It gives me my wife and my children, the life that we live. It gives me my focus, my direction, my confidence. It's given me my life. Having a proper goal and proper guidance and mentorship, it has given me my life. So this is what you really need to put as part of your life. So I would encourage you to have that conversation. You've probably been avoiding. Nobody in my team they haven't been equipped with Declan O'Donoghue's standard edition baseball bats to break down your door and force you to do anything. This is completely a conversation. So I would recommend you talk with them and say, look, I want to just figure out this and how we go ahead, okay? And we will help you. And that's the way to go. So I would like to say thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart to everybody who attended our masterclass, to everybody who watched back the replay, for all the team, the success advisors, Laura and Ernestine, everybody, all the VPs and everybody who's made this a success, our wonderful contributors, Shauna, Catherine, Brian, and Susan. Amazing interviews, lovely conversations with people just like you and me who have decided, affect the status quo. I'm going to change my life, and that's it. And that's what you should do too. Okay, so I look forward to welcoming you into the Academy. I look forward to seeing some deadline decisions. I used to have a name in Bob's company, Deadline Declan, but it's changed now to Decisive Declan. I'd always get my goal lastminute.com, but now it's usually first one around, and that's a paradigm shift. So we look forward to welcoming you to our Academy. We look forward to helping you to make a big change in your life. So yeah, take care. Have a beautiful Tuesday. Talk to your success advisor. Get yourself enrolled, and let's make a beautiful life together for you. Okay, talk to you then.